This is 5 on your side at 4. Focused on you.
Happening in just a few hours, the St. Peter's Board of Aldermen will decide whether to ban people from panhandling near streets. Thank you for joining us at 4. I'm Brent Solomon.
And I'm Kay Quinn. The move comes after complaints from residents about pedestrian safety. Critics say the bill might unfairly target the homeless. 5 on your side's Travis Cummings explains what could happen if it passes.
Many times you'll see people at the stoplight or in the middle of the lanes during moving traffic. This bill is aimed at putting a stop to that here in the St. Peter's area. The new bill would stop people from interfering with or disrupting traffic. It would also stop people from touching a vehicle or the person inside the vehicle. It also prohibits distributing anything or receiving items from a vehicle. Back in May, the St. Louis County Council passed a similar bill pushing pedestrians to use sidewalks and crosswalks. Being outside those designated areas could result in a ticket. City leaders say it's the safest outcome for everyone.
It really is about pedestrian and vehicular safety for residents and visitors of the city, to make sure that traffic is flowing in an appropriate manner. There's no sudden stops, and frankly, for the pedestrian, nobody gets hurt because they're not noticed while they're standing or extending into the right-of-way.
Later at 6, we'll hear from an organization committed to getting people housing all across the region and get their take on this bill. Again, the Board of Aldermen are set to vote on this bill here at 6:30 at St. Peter's City Hall. Reporting in St. Charles County, Travis Cummings, 5 on your side.
If approved by the board tonight, the ordinance will land on the mayor's desk for final approval.
Right now, the FBI is asking any additional victims of a former police officer and accused serial sex offender to come forward. Marcellus Blackwell is facing 21 federal charges right now. He joined the North County Police Cooperative at the end of May of last year. Police say between November of last year and June of this year, he sexually assaulted 8 out of the 80 men he arrested or detained while they were handcuffed. Blackwell recorded some of the alleged assaults on his cell phone, and police are still trying to identify some of the victims in those videos. The number to the FBI hotline is 314-589-2682.
A young man is dead after a double shooting in St. Louis. It happened after 4 yesterday afternoon. Officers found the body of the victim on Osage Street near the border of Dutchtown and Marine Villa neighborhoods. He was shot in the head. Police also found another person who was shot and hurt. He was taken to a hospital. We don't know the name of the man who died yet, but police say he was 18.
Detectives are investigating a homicide in North St. Louis County. It happened around 7:30 this morning. Officers got a notification from ShotSpotter about gunfire at Winkler and Capel. That's where they found the victim dead. This happened close to Moline Elementary School. School leaders there making everyone shelter in place. The school has since gone back to normal activities.
A town in Lincoln County is under a state of emergency due to contaminated drinking water. Silex's water supply contains unsafe levels of radium, which is naturally occurring underground. According to the mayor, the town has had water issues for years, but not to this extent. The town is working on a deal with Pike County to restore its water service, but it could take 2 years before that's complete. 5 on your side's Holden Kerwicki went to Silex today. He will have more on this story coming up on 5 on your side at 6.
Missouri Senator Josh Hawley wants to know more about cleanup efforts at the Weldon Spring nuclear site. It was a dumping ground for radioactive material during the development of the atomic bomb. Senator Hawley says he was alarmed by the Department of Energy's lack of monitoring of underground contaminants. He's asking the department for a timeline of sampling and when the site will be fully cleaned up. The Missouri Department of Natural Resources shares his concerns. The group has warned of potential uranium contamination in local groundwater.
Former President Donald Trump was in Michigan to speak with striking auto workers last night and skipped the GOP debate to do it. Now there's just 1 day before a UAW deadline that would call for even more workers to walk off the job.
So NBC's Maggie Vespa has much more about the former president's visit and where the strike will hit if it continues to expand.
Another round of potential walkouts and a former president's speech making headlines across the country. And we'll start with that. Former President Trump last night speaking to a crowd of roughly 300 at a non-union auto body parts plant north of Detroit. In his more than hour-long speech, the former president repeatedly blasting President Biden and his administration's push to shift the industry toward all electric vehicles, a push that former President Trump claims will kill union jobs. The White House has repeatedly refuted that claim. At one point, the former president speaking directly to striking workers. You can hear the support back out here today. Speaking directly to striking workers, Trump saying, quote, "I don't think you're picketing for the right thing." The speech being received with mixed reviews here on the picket lines. Workers telling us they do have long-term concerns about job security when it comes to electric vehicles, but they bristle at the president's comment that they're not picketing for the right things. All of this against the background of a possible new round of walkouts. A source with the UAW telling us tomorrow morning at 10 Eastern, the union's president will announce a new round of what they call strike targets, calling for workers at noon Eastern tomorrow to walk off the job, potentially at more facilities. All of this, once again, barring any what they call serious progress in contract talks with the Big Three. Maggie Vespa, NBC News, Wayne, Michigan.
Well, don't even think about getting out the sweaters. It feels like the return of summer. We're still waiting for those cool fall breezes. Where are they?
I feel like I have all my fall and winter clothes in a bag, just ready to come out. But Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell tells us we have a warm weather first forecast.
We do. Heading into this weekend, unusually warm. Don't think we're going to have record-breaking heat, though, in St. Louis. But temperatures are going to be running about 12 to 17 degrees above average for this time of year. We have some sunshine out there right now, just a few scattered clouds around the St. Louis area. We started out this morning with a little more in the way of cloud cover, and the showers, even some thunderstorms, were off to our south and southeast. They have since pushed away from the region, and the clouds have been clearing, and we're back into the low, even a few mid-80s this afternoon. There's a look over in Belleville. Art on the Square looking out right now, and everything's looking good in Belleville. Downtown St. Louis over at the Enterprise Center, looking good downtown, too. We're getting into this warm, dry pattern. It settles in here going into the weekend, early next week. Maybe a spritz late tonight, very early tomorrow, but that's about it in terms of rainfall chances. A toasty weekend ahead. We're going to break that down for you and look at when we actually might see some cool breezes. Coming up in a few minutes, Brent.
All right, Scott, and let's remind folks that they can get their weather first forecast anytime. Text the word weather to 314-425-5355.
SSM Health announced it's planning to build yet another hospital in the city of St. Louis. This time, it's a new pediatric hospital to replace Cardinal Lenin Children's Hospital. The new facility will be located at Choteau and Grand, just adjacent to the current pediatric hospital. It'll be equipped with 200 beds, new technology, and is expected to be complete in 2027. SSM Health, of course, opened the new St. Louis University Hospital in August of 2020. House Republicans start formal impeachment hearings against President Biden. This as Congress struggles to fund the government days before it will officially run out of money.
A government shutdown could crush Americans who are already feeling the effects of inflation and the high cost of living. Now one food pantry is bracing for the worst.